Hi, and welcome back to Cinematech, your Southern California home integration specialist. Today we're going to be talking about the Sonos audio system. Now, you can find Sonos mostly at the Best Buy Magnolia stores and a couple, like us, the specialty shops, home integration stops. Now, we do a lot of Sonos systems in the house. It just makes it really easy for integration. Traditionally, what we usually do when we're doing whole house audio, we've got to crack walls, run speaker cables throughout the house, run Cat5 for the internet. It becomes a more complicated system. And a lot of families, unless they're going to do a full blown out system for the whole house, they just want to add a few rooms. And it might be a little bit much for them wanting to go have us cracking walls and running cables everywhere. And that's why Sonos was invented. It's a simple system that's used with your network, and it creates its own Wi-Fi signal throughout the house. And we've got all the products here, as you can kind of see up on the screen as well as right here. I'll give you a little demo, or rather we'll break it down what each piece does. Now, this is the main piece right here. This is the bridge. This is the hub. So what you want to do is you take this piece and you connect it to your network. So it's got Cat5 on the back. Let's say your network's upstairs or it's in your office. You go ahead and connect this to your network. And then from this, the zone bridge, all the other Sonos pieces connect to it wirelessly through Wi-Fi. So let's say we have this in the office. We connect it to the network. Bingo, we're done there. Now, the way Sonos has kind of lined everything out, they've given you a piece for every kind of system that you have. Let's say you have a stereo in the living room and you don't really need another amplifier. So what they did is they came up with the Connect. Now the Connect hooks to any amplifier or stereo system that you already have. It doesn't have an amp built in, but what it does, again, it wirelessly connects to your zone bridge, and then from the Connect, you can go ahead and use RC outs into one of the different sources, let's say CD, tape, whatever you want to use, and then all of a sudden, now your stereo system or your amp just has a Sonos piece built into it. It's a small little piece, and it connects up. Now, if you're not familiar with Sonos, a lot of the things you can do Rhapsody, you can do Pandora, Spotify, you can pull music from your iTunes on your computer. It comes with an actual iPod dock if you want to go in that direction. It's really a creative way that they've gone and done this system, so you don't have to add more wires. Now, let's say you want to add something into the living room. You've got a couple speakers that you have, and you want to hook them up to an audio system. You want to be able to play Rhapsody or Sonos. Now this is the Connect amp. Now what this does, it's got a built-in digital amp inside it. So what you can do, you'll set this, like for example here, set it on a table, and then if you look at the back, you can attach your speakers to it. So you can hook up 2 speakers to it. Set it up, set it on the table, you plug it into power, you plug the speakers into the back, and then all you have to do wirelessly is you connect this to your zone bridge that is somewhere else in the house connected to your network. And then from that, you have a zone. So now you have a zone with your Connect. You've got a separate zone with your Connect amp. And then we'll go one step further, a couple steps. This is the Play 3. Now this is a separate stereo speaker that you can put anywhere in the house. You can take it in the backyard. You can put it up in one of the kids' rooms. You can put it in the master bedroom. It's usually for a smaller room, and you can set it in a multitude of different ways. You can set it there. They have it set so you can set it like that. And again, all you got to do, plug the power in, you go to the setup menu, it connects to the zone bridge, and bingo, you've got a whole other zone. So you've got zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and now we'll get into the big boy that they sell. This is the Play 5. This is their big wireless speaker system. Again, it's the same as the Play 3, just a little bit bigger. So you're talking about medium-sized rooms, maybe a big family room / kitchen you want to use it in. Works the same way. You can go ahead and use power. You plug it into power. You go to the setup menu. It connects over to the zone bridge. And then you've got another zone. So now we've got 1 zone, 2 zone, 3 zone, 4 zone. Here's the great thing about it. Each zone is independent and can play something different. You're playing Rhapsody on this one. You're playing Pandora on this one. You're playing iTunes on this one. And then back over here, you're playing Spotify on this one. So each thing can play something different in different parts of the house without having to plug any wires or anything in. Now you're probably wondering, how do we control all this? Generally, they have a little electronic remote control, looks similar to an iPhone or an Android phone. They're starting to phase that away a little bit because so many people have Android phones, iPhones, iPads, and they have the Android pads. What it does, there's nice little software on it, and we'll go ahead and show that to you right now. All right, like we talked about earlier, I want to show you how the control system works for the Sonos system. Now, we talked about they used to have a little remote control. They're slowly phasing the remote control out. because a lot of things have changed. Now we've got iPhones, we've got iPads, you've got Android phones, and you've got the Android version of an iPad. And this entire system is controlled from those systems. And it makes it really convenient and easy to do because everybody always has their phone with them, and or they have maybe an iPad or an Android pad sitting around. Now, we've blown this up on the TV here so we can see it in greater detail, the layout of the Sonos controller. Now up here we've got mute, we've got the volume, which is on a little sliding scale. You got your play, pause, forward and reverse, or forward and back. Now, over on the left-hand side, we've got the different rooms or zones, depending on what you want. Now, in our showroom here, we have a hi-fi room, which is a 2-channel room where we have just 2-channel speakers. So we put a little Sonos system in there so we can pull different kinds of music and demo some of the speakers with music coming off of Sonos. We've also got a rack system. So in the showroom too, we've talked about Control 4 in the past, and we have got a whole Control 4 system, and we tied the Sonos into the Control 4 system so we can play it in different rooms, as well as having the individual Sonos systems for demonstration. And then for this particular purpose, we're going to be using the Play 5, and we named that Vanessa's room. That's a particular speaker just for Vanessa's room, so that's where she uses it. Now in the center section here, it'll tell you what's going on in the particular highlighted room. So for right now, we've got Vanessa's room highlighted, so it'll give you the information on what's playing, tracks and whatnot. We'll go give you an idea. Now we're back to rack, highlighted rack. You can see nothing's playing in the rack. It's empty, no music. So for right now, we'll go back to Vanessa's room because we're going to be demoing the Play 5. And we have this set up on Pandora. If you're familiar with Pandora, it's a really popular audio system that's being used. You can do Rhapsody. Now on the right-hand side, this is how we go and find out. Right now we're in the Pandora app. We'll go ahead and go back. I'll show you different apps that Sonos has. You've got your music library here, and that'll be any of your iTunes music. You can connect it to your iTunes, so whatever's on your computer, you can pull all the iTunes music off, and it has the cover artwork and everything. Do radio. This is another nice feature about Sonos is instead of having an antenna on your house, you can click into radio, and it'll ask for your zip code, and it'll pull up all the AM and FM radio stations in the area. You can have them played wirelessly to the house, clear, no interference. We got the Pandora app. We also have Rhapsody app. It's another app that's really popular. You can get into you can make your own playlists, align in. So for example, on any of these particular things, you can hook it to your, let's say you're hooking it to your cable box, and you can have your cable music being played over your Play 5 or S5, depending on how you want to set this thing up. And then you can go into more music. And like I've talked about, you've got iHeartRadio, Last.fm, Mog, SiriusXM, Slacker, Spotify. Sonos has really gone out of their way to pull a lot of these different applications in so that people have a huge amount of access to music. So for this particular case, we're going to go back into Pandora. And what did I have before? I had, well, actually, we don't even have to go into it. It's already set up on Vanessa's room. All I got to do is hit play. This is going to be coming out of the Play 5 right now. We have the Pearl Jam radio set up. As you can see up here, my volume. Turn it down. Turn it up. It's just plugged into power, nothing more. Gives you a really good idea of how this whole system works. We can go ahead and change the radio station at will. You just kind of pick your playlist in your Pandora, and it'll start playing it. Change your volume. Then you just go ahead and set your iPad or iPhone down, put it away, and you're good to go. Thanks for taking a look at our Sonos system. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to give us a call at Cinematech. The number is 888-944-4388. Again, it's 888-944-4388. See you in the next video.